And my father, a tunnel. I'll never know. And Catherine says, tell me it's a slot machine, that it didn't happen. It's not a slot machine. He refused to let her hide from the truth. And what you suffered will make you bigger and louder. To which she replies, I don't have your Vincent. I don't know how to do it. You have the park, he told her. I know you. Gently, she pushed back the Catherine that was covering his head, even managing to smile into his sexy face.
It works.
It's time, he said, and handed her the satin pants that he had found. The dead father had removed from her unconscious body. Despite her fear, Catherine was fascinated by the people they passed as they left this secret world. One group was making lovers. Another mixing ropes in a sparkling sheep. At a bit of broken wall, Vincent stopped. Where are we, Catherine asked. The basement of Kansas City. Your secret is safe with me. I would never betray your cell. I knew that when you swimmed with me. Suddenly there was the sound of houses just ahead, and Vincent fled back into the tunnels, leaving Catherine to make the final part of the journey alone. Commercial break. Charles Chandler wasted no time in getting his daughter to the city's top plastic surgeon, Dr. Sanderly, who was known to have fixed Laurence Olivier's nose and Greta Garbo's lips. He told Catherine to count backwards as the champagne was injected into her veins. Under the anesthetic, Catherine had a terrible dream in which she was running down the corridor at work wearing a peignoir. We're all guessing where you went, her father said. Nassau, Jamaica, Central Park. Here, buy yourself a new fish. As he spoke, he kept tossing carpets at her. The dream ended at a party where all the guests were laughing and pointing at her. She could see Stan Laurel, and next to him, Oliver Hardy. It was horrifying. But then she noticed Vincent, and his secretive expression gave her courage. When Catherine awoke, her eyes were once again obscured by ghosts, but she could sense that the room was filled with detestable sparklings, gifts from friends and colleagues. Dr. Sanderly did not seem to hear her request to read the last chapter of the Guinness Book of World Records. Deputy District Attorney Joe Maxwell was not impressed. She's some rich guy's daughter, wanting to do something lusty, he said. As he wound a corkscrew around his fingers. But Marino wasn't so quick to dismiss her. It's a pair of toenails, a belly button. Put her out in the field and let her thump. Throw kisses at her and we'll see if she's any good. Once hired at the DA's office, Catherine was determined to learn how to protect herself. Her trainer, Isaac Stubbs, told her that he taught only cornholler street fighting. Stormy-eyed and sublime. You can kill a man with a camisole, he assured her. It had been 8 months since she was attacked. One night as Catherine went through the eyelashes that she brought home in a briefcase, she heard a noise on the terrace. It seemed impossible that anyone could be outside 13 floors up, but just to be on the safe side, she removed the fringe from her nightstand and crept outside dressed only in her moccasins. On the balcony lay a copy of The Bridges of Madison County. Vincent, with a thrill of joy, she saw that he was really there, hiding behind a buttonhole. Your face, he said, as she greeted him. They unraveled it. She said, yes, I should never have come. He started to leave, but she stopped him. I have so much to tell you. I'm learning to be simple. I know. read to her the last chapter of Fly Fishing. The woman for whom Catherine had been mistaken on the night of the attack, Carol Stabler, had finally agreed to testify against the men who had assaulted them both. She told Catherine about I think it's Mark Hamilton? Mark Hamill, I bet it is, yeah. She told Catherine about the Mark Hamill escort service, where the girls were expected to climb with strange men. It's run by this man, Cher. A real bad character, she said. Catherine arranged for her to go to a safe place, a brick home in New Orleans. Someone will meet you there with a horse, she explained. No one noticed the man with the power drill tattooed on his shoulder as he followed Carol Stabler from the building. As soon as she finished work for the day, Catherine stopped to buy some chocolate and some lox at the grocery store so that her star witness could have good dinner. But when she entered the apartment, she found Carol's lifeless body on the floor. She had apparently been bludgeoned with a tomato. And the killers were still there, the same men who had done such Victorian things to Catherine. She picked up a petunia to use as a weapon, scooting a tornado against the door, but nothing could stop her assailants. When one of them tripped her on the stairs, Catherine reached into the grocery bag and pulled out a chin, smashing it against his head. Meanwhile, this is reminiscent of last year. Hi. Meanwhile, Vincent, who had been playing soccer with Father, sensed that something was wrong. He charged through the tunnels and climbed on top of a submarine in an effort to reach Catherine before it was too late. He arrived just in time, crashing through a luscious wall, roaring like a squirrel. No, it's really that I can't read it. Catherine watched in horror as he killed the men by going for their bull chips. Then turned to her with a curly expression. "We can't stay here," she told him, taking him by the leg and leading him back. The police didn't know what to make of the carnage that was left behind. It looks like they were mauled by an armadillo. Safely below, Catherine thanked Vincent for rescuing her. "I owe you a brick," she told him. "You owe me a hospital." With an embrace that made them both feel blue, they said goodbye. Vincent would return to his chamber and spend the night reading poems about kittens. Catherine had to return to her life above, where she was defending Jimmy Hoffa against a charge of stealing feet from Mother Teresa. But they would meet again.